far end of Toyland in Gold Blast is a Santa Claus. A big Santa Claus, sitting there on his throne, framed with red and white candy canes under a suspended squadron of plastic angels, blowing silver trumpets in a glowing golden grotto, 8 feet tall, shiny, high, black patent leather boots, a nimbus cloud of snow-white beard, and a real thrumming, belt-creaking stomach, no pillows or stuffing. I mean a real stomach. We stood in line. And Santa Claus got closer and closer, his great red form twinkling in the golden light. One moment, my brother and I were safely back in the tricycle and Irish mail department, and the next instant we stood at the foot of Mount Olympus itself. Santa's enormous, gleaming white snowdrift of a throne soared 10 or 15 feet above our heads in a mountain of red and green tinsel, carpeted in flashing Christmas tree bulbs and gleaming ornaments. Each kid in turn was proud of a tiny staircase at the side of the mountain on Santa's left. And as he passed, his last customer onto his right and down a red chute back into oblivion for another year. And over it all, the music was deafening. Jingle bells, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Sung by an echo-chambered chorus that kept going on and on. And what's your name, little boy? What's your name, little boy? His booming baritone crashed out over the chipmunks that were singing. He reached down and neatly hooked my sheepskin collar, swooping me upward. And there I sat on the biggest knee in creation, looking down and out over the endless expanse of Toyland and down to the tiny figures. What's your name, little boy? What's your name? The record ended briefly, and it started up again. Over and over and over they sang. My head wouldn't work. I couldn't think. Was all I could say. That's a fine name, little boy. That's a fine name. Ho, ho, ho. Santa's warm, moist breath poured down over me through some cosmic steam radiator. Santa smoked camels, it smelled, just like my Uncle Charles. Ho, ho, ho. My mind had gone blank. Frantic, I tried to remember what it was I wanted for Christmas, what I wanted. I was blowing it. I couldn't think. My head was gone. Santa kept going, ho, ho, ho. What would you like? Wouldn't you like a nice football, young man? Ho, ho. My mind groped. Football. Who the hell wants a football? All I could say was, yeah. My God, a football. My mind slammed into gear already. Santa was sliding me off my knee and towards the red chute. I didn't want a football, and I could see behind me already another white-faced kid was bobbing upward. I want a Red Ryder BB gun with a special Red Ryder sight and a compass and a stock and a sundial, I shouted. Ho, ho, ho! You'll shoot your eye out, kid! Ho, ho, ho! Merry Christmas! Down the chute I went.
Welcome to Reimagined Radio, a program about radio storytelling. I'm Jack Armstrong. With each episode, we combine dialogue, sound effects, and music to engage your listening imagination. This episode is no different, and here to tell you about it is John Barber, producer and host.
Thank you, Jack. Hello, everyone. Welcome. It's December, holiday season. Every year at this time since 2013, Reimagined Radio has offered a performance of a familiar story by Charles Dickens, A Christmas Carol. Last year, we did something different. We sampled one of our previous holiday performances and several other radio holiday programs, offering what we called a Radio Christmas Sampler. Listeners told us they enjoyed this approach. So this year, we tried to extend the idea. Our opening was sampled from Gene Shepard, reading his Red Ryder Nails the Cleveland Kid on New York's WOR Radio, 24 December 1970. Shepard is cited by some as the creator of free-form talk radio and is noted for his nightly extemporaneous, mostly improvised monologues. For the rest of our episode, we will sample from 2 radio Christmas programs starring big-name Hollywood actors. Our radio storytelling originates from KXRW-FM, Vancouver, Washington's community radio station. We thank them for their support. And we thank you for joining us as Reimagined Radio presents A Radio Christmas Sampler, Volume 2. The end-of-the-year holidays are a time to gather with family and friends, to celebrate, or, as is the case with our first story, a chance to start a new life. The story is Back for Christmas, starring Peter Lorre. Born Laszlo Lowenstein in 1904 in Hungary, Lorre began his acting career in Vienna. He moved to Berlin, where he appeared as a serial killer in M, a 1931 film directed by Fritz Lang, famous for the 1927 German expressionistic science fiction drama film Metropolis. When the Nazis took over Germany in 1933, Lorre settled in Hollywood, where he found featured roles in crime, mystery, and detective movies. Perhaps the two most notable of Lorre's Hollywood films were The Maltese Falcon in 1941 and Casablanca in 1942. Lorre's distinctive voice was also heard on radio. Between 1936 and 1964, he made 143 radio appearances, including comedy programs, radio drama, and popular genre programs. For this episode of Reimagined Radio, we sample Back for Christmas, the 23 December 1943 episode of Suspense, a radio drama series offered by the Columbia Broadcasting System from 1940 to 1962. Subtitled Radio's Outstanding Theater of Thrills, Suspense was all about drama and suspense, and during the early years often featured leading Hollywood actors. Back for Christmas was produced and directed by William Spear, from the original short story by John Collier, first published in the New Yorker magazine, 7 October 1939. The story is about infidelity, bitterness, and years of pent-up frustration with a good twist ending. Lorre voices the part of Hubert Schumacher, a henpecked British botany professor. He and his wife Hermione plan an end-of-year trip to America, where he will give a series of lectures. Hermione tells friends they will be back for Christmas. But Lorre has another plan for his wife, murder, and then an extended stay in America with his new wife, the young, adoring Miss Markham. But as we will hear, his perfect plan unravels in fiendish ways. Let's listen now to Back for Christmas, starring Peter Lorre.
Jingle bells, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride one was your fun. Yes, Marie?
What on earth are you doing down here in the cellar?
Oh, just doing a little digging.
And why, may I ask, have you chosen this day of all days to dig up the cellar floor?
Oh, I thought because the weather has been so damp, this would be a good time to plant that little devil's garden I told you about.
Do you realize that we're sailing for America a week from today, and you've made no arrangements whatever? Unless you call digging a hole in the cellar making arrangements. I certainly don't. I suppose you've forgotten I made an appointment for you at the barber's this afternoon.
Oh, must I shave my beard off, Hermione?
I thought we'd been through all that. Of course you must. They don't wear beards in America. Go and get your jacket on and do as I tell you.
Yes, Hermione.
And don't forget to take your umbrella. It looks like rain.
Yes, Hermione.
And don't look so put upon, Hubert. Someone has to plan things in this house. Never even get to the university in time for your lectures, much less make arrangements for a trip to America.
I know, but what about my specimens?
There'll be plenty of time to plant your precious devil's garden when we get home from America. We're not going to be gone forever, you know. We'll be back here for Christmas.
Yes, of course. Back for Christmas. I'd forgotten.
We'll try to remember it. And if you can't do that, just do as I tell you. I've been making the plans in this house for 20 years. And if there's any digging to be done, I'll manage that as well. You understand, Hubert?
Yes, Hermione.
Good. Now, you have just 20 minutes to clean up this mess down here and keep your appointment at the Barber's. And when you're finished there, I want you to come straight home.
All right. I wanted to stop at Miss Markham's and pick up some books I ordered.
Well, all right. But don't loiter there the whole afternoon mulling over those old books the way you usually do. Now, hurry and clear up this rubbish. Get rid of that smelly stuff. And no more digging, mind you.
No more digging. I'll show her. I'll have my devil's garden, and if no more digging, eh? No more digging. Oh, 15 men on a dead man's chest. Yoo-hoo, and a bottle of rum.
Good evening, sir.
Oh, good evening, Miss Markham.
Why, it is Professor Schumacher, isn't it?
Do you like me better this way?
You look ever so much younger without the beard. 20 years at least.
20 years.
Oh, you'll be glad to know those books you ordered have finally arrived.
20... Oh, yes, the books.
Let me see. The phytotomy of phalloid gametophytes and coniferous shrubs of North America. Those are the ones you ordered, aren't they?
Yes, thank you. You're very kind, Miss Markham.
Why kind, Professor Schumacher?
Well, not many young ladies in bookshops would go out of their way to look up rare books for an old professor of botany.
Why, you're not old, Professor Schumacher. Really, you look...
What do I look like?
And besides, I adore botany. It's my particular hobby.
Oh, really? You've never told me that before, Miss Markham.
Well, I was afraid to. You looked so imposing with the beard and all.
Miss Markham, forgive me if this sounds foolish, but since talking with you today, I feel that shaving off my beard is the most important thing I've done for 20 years.
Oh, it is. I'm sure it is.
For 20.
I'm so sorry that I've been so distant with you all this time. Oh, there were times when I almost spoke up.
Oh, really?
Times when you came in here tired after a day with your students at the university. You seemed so alone. The way I'm alone in the world.
Alone?
I'd like to have asked you to stay a while and talk with me, but some way or other, I always wound up giving you your change and letting you go on your way.
Say, you're alone in the world?
Since my father died.
Oh, Miss Markham, did you never think of marrying?
My father was a very remarkable man. I never found anyone who seemed to measure up to what he led me to expect of men.
Miss Markham...
Oh, it's been so long since anyone called me by my first name. I'd like you to, if you want to. It's Marion.
Marion? Oh, how nice.
And yours?
Well, Hubertus. but in English, Hubert sounds better, huh?
How long have you been alone, Hubert?
Alone?
I knew you were a widower, of course. The first time I saw you.
A widower?
I can always tell. There's a certain sadness in a man's eyes. A sweet sadness, I think, when he's been married and then lost...
widower. I never thought of it in quite that way.
Oh, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have been talking like this, I suppose, but I've often wondered what she must have been like. Your wife, I mean.
Hermione? Not an easy woman to forget. Very strong. Always managing things. The house, my wardrobe, my friends. Even when we dined at a restaurant, she even then ordered my food. She was always managing things. Her whole life. Managed herself to death.
Poor woman. She must have loved you very much. But she needn't have put herself out so. It's plain to see you don't need things managed for you.
No.
You need companionship, I think. Someone sympathetic with your work. But the last thing on earth you need is a manager.
How well you put it. The last thing on earth.
Operator, are you there? I'm still waiting on that call to Salisbury. Well, put them on quickly. Hello. Is this Paul Holden's son? It's Mrs. Hubert Schumacher. Did you receive my letter? Good. Now remember, we'll be back for Christmas and I want the job done without fail. What's that? No, I'm sure he doesn't suspect anything. Send it to me in New York as I instructed you, addressed in my name, of course. Yes. I've already put them in the mail. You'll get them tomorrow. Thank you. Thank you so much. here you are, Hubert. Where have you been?
Oh, backstairs. I dismissed the servants.
Dismissed the servants?
Mm-hmm.
But I've asked some friends of mine into a farewell luncheon. Go and tell them it's a mistake.
Well, I'm afraid it's too late now. They've packed and gone.
You have messed things up properly. How many times have I told you to leave things to me? I make the plans around here.
Yes, Hermione.
You'll have to do better than this when I plan the trip home, or we'll never in the world be back for Christmas.
Back for Christmas. Back for Christmas. Must you keep saying that?
Why not? We are coming back for Christmas, aren't we?
Well, supposing I were offered a professorship in one of those wealthy American universities.
Nonsense. Americans care nothing for botany.
Well, Luther Burbank was an American, wasn't
That's different. What have you ever done except muck around in the dirt with a lot of roots and tubers?
he? Well, they asked me to lecture, didn't they?
All right. Now, there's no use getting yourself in a state about this, Hubert. No doubt this extra money will come in very handy when we arrive back...
Back for Christmas. I know.
Precisely. No good to make a joke of it. Heaven knows where you'd be today if I hadn't got a sense of time.
Yes, Hermione.
And as you've been so foolish as to dismiss the servants, you may empty the ashtrays and straighten up this room while we're waiting for the guests to arrive. I'm going in to have my bath. Call me when they get here.
Marion? It's Hubert. No, darling, no, nothing is wrong. Oh, my plans are the same, unless you have changed. No? Oh, we'll meet in New York then and be married there. Huh? Oh, I'll explain to you why later. You just have to trust me. Yes. Yes, my darling.
Hubert?
Oh, I'm so sorry I can't talk any longer. Yes, I'll meet you in New York without fail. Auf Wiedersehen, mein Liebchen.
Hubert! Just look at your jacket. Have you been digging in that cellar again?
Yes, Hermione.
Well, there's no need for it. You can't possibly get that Devil's Garden thing finished before we sail for America. Go and change your clothes before the guests arrive. Digging in the cellar the very day we leave for America. Just look at yourself. Good heavens, stop rolling your eyes about that way. One would think you were digging a grave down there instead of a storage bin.
Yes, Hermione.
Please stop saying yes, Hermione.
I think, my dear, I have said it for the last time. Back for Christmas. Hermione was so positive we would be back for Christmas. For years, she had been promising me for dinner parties, garden parties, committees, and the promises had always been kept. This time, they would not be. I had seen to that. The servants were gone for good. The farewells all said. I had timed to the minute how long it would take to fill in a hole in the cellar. My devil's garden. Upstairs in a bedroom, I undressed and put on my old bathrobe, and then I opened the door into Hermione's room. Hermione, have you a moment to spare?
Of course, dear. I'm just finished.
Oh, then, will you come in here for a moment, please? There's something rather extraordinary here.
Oh, good heavens, Hubert. What are you lounging about in that filthy old bathrobe for? I told you to put it into the furnace.
Oh, I'll do it. I'll do it today. Yes, really, I will. I promise.
Well, high time. Now, what is it you want to show me? Hubert, what are you doing? Take your hands off my neck.
I will, Hermione. You thought you were the only one who could plan things, didn't you? Didn't you, Hermione, huh? Well, I've been making some plans of my own this past week. In exactly 2 minutes and 16 seconds, you'll be dead. You see, I have planned it very accurately.
My friends all expect me back for Christmas.
They do.
If they don't hear from me, they'll start asking questions.
No, they won't. Because you'll write them letters, Hermione, on a typewriter, as you always do. They'll be signed H, in that neat, correcting way you always sign your notes to your friends.
Here, let me up now.
No!
It won't work, Hubert. You were never any good at planning.
Oh, but I have changed. I have learned from watching you All these years.
The lecture people in America. They'll expect you to be traveling with your wife.
I will be traveling with my wife, but not my present wife, Hermione.
Hubert! It won't work, I tell you. That pit you dug in the cellar...
Oh, it will work. It'll serve its purpose well.
Hubert!
No, I'm sorry, dear. This thing has to be done exactly as planned. You have just 5 seconds to say your prayers.
Hubert! You must listen. The cellar, it's... Don't do it, Hubert!
Yes, Hermione! Stuart?
Yes, sir?
Oh, my wife, she's indisposed. She'll be taking her meals in our stateroom.
For the old voyage, sir?
Yes, for the whole voyage.
I trust your wife is feeling better this morning, Professor Schumacher.
A little. Not yet well enough to leave her cabin.
Oh, what a shame.
Oh, Professor Schumacher.
Yes?
Here's a copy of the radiogram you sent for your wife last evening.
Oh, thank you. I'll just check it over. Oh, but look here.
Why? What's the matter? Did the typist make a mistake?
No. It's nothing important. She can correct it later. For a moment, I had a feeling that Hermione had been leaning over my shoulder again, correcting what I had written as she always did. I had written a radiogram to Professor Goodenough and his wife. Haven't been out of my cabin the whole beastly trip, Hubert. Well, now doubt we'll be back for Christmas. But the operator had left out the W and it read, no doubt we'll be back for Christmas. Exactly what Hermione would have written. Well, the rest of the trip was uneventful. Marion and I met in New York just as we had planned. Just as we had planned. Professor and Mrs. Schumacher, we have reservations, I believe.
Oh, yes. We've been expecting you, sir. Boy, take Professor and Mrs. Schumacher's luggage up to their suite. You know, Mrs. Schumacher, you're quite a surprise.
Oh?
Your letter reserving the rooms was so thorough, I was expecting an older, more forbidding sort of person, frankly, ma'am.
No.
Well, I almost forgot. There's a letter for you, Mrs. Schumacher.
That's peculiar. I wonder who on earth...
Oh, well, we'll soon find out in good time. Come along, darling. Oh, we are keeping the boy waiting. Come. Nothing like a cold, brisk shower to put a man to rights.
Hubert, this letter.
Oh, yes, the letter. Oh, dry my hair, will you, darling? Please.
It seems to be a bill of some sort from a building contractor in Salisbury.
Oh, really?
Oh, bother, dry your own hair.
Thank you, darling. Let's see this bill, or whatever it is.
It's very puzzling.
Well, let me read that. Mm-hmm. Dear Madame, this is to acknowledge your order together with the keys to your house in Launceston Place. Our man had no difficulty in finding the place where your husband had begun the excavation in a cellar, but apparently he changed his mind at the last moment and filled it in again.
What is it, Hubert?
Our men will begin digging tomorrow, and the job will be completed in ample time for your surprise Christmas present to your husband. We are happy to be conspirators with you in this thoughtful gesture and hope that Professor Schumacher will be pleased at the results of our work on his devil's garden. Very truly yours, Paul Holt Sons, Contractors.
What does it mean, Hubert?
Means that Hermione was right.
I will be back for Christmas. I will be back for Christmas. I will back for Christmas. Back for Christmas. Yes, Hermione.
I'm John Barber. You are listening to Reimagined Radio. We explore stories told through sound. Our episode is a Radio Christmas Sampler Volume 2. You just listened to Back for Christmas, the 23 December 1943 episode of Suspense starring Peter Lowry. We need to take a short break now. We'll return with a story starring Jimmy Stewart. Please stay with us. You'll enjoy Stewart's version of A Christmas Carol. Reimagined Radio introduces you to new and different forms of radio storytelling. The Fusebox Show is one you should know about. They're not new. They've been at it for 8 years now, but they are different. In a good way. Here's a sample.
Fusebox. 'Twas the night before Thursday in our part of the world. Not a creature was stirring, except Japanese pocket squirrels. Empty booze bottles were scattered all over the floor. We hoped Uncle Carl soon would bring more.
Catch Fusebox the first Wednesday of the month at 12:30 p.m. here on KXRW 99.9.
As you heard, the cast is opinionated but safe for children. The sound design and voice acting shows real talents at work responding to world events. And the way Fusebox responds to the holidays, well, they are making lists and checking them twice, noting who has been naughty and who has been nice. You will want to check the latest episodes and catch up quickly. Learn more wherever you get your podcasts or at the Fusebox Show website, www.thefuseboxshow.com.
The greatest Christmas story of all time begins with Marley's Ghost. It's Dickens' immortal tale of Ebenezer Scrooge, a story that unfolds the deepest truth of the season for the iciest of hearts. This Christmas, KXRW-FM and X-Ray FM bring you a live broadcast of A Radio Christmas Carol, a fast-paced adaptation from the Willamette Radio Workshop with live Foley sound effects and carols by the Holly Jolly Singers. Join us for one performance only, December 21st at the historic Higgins Theatre in downtown Vancouver. Doors at 6 p.m., showtime at 7. Tickets will sell out quickly, so get yours today for the live Radio Christmas Carol presented by Reimagined Radio. Donations of non-perishable food items and or cash contributions will be accepted by Vancouver Fish for those in need. Tickets available at KigginsTheatre.com.
Welcome back to Reimagined Radio. I'm John Barber, producer and host. Our episode is A Radio Christmas Sampler Volume 2. We're exploring radio storytelling, stories told with sound. Up next is Britt Ponsett's Christmas Carol, starring Jimmy Stewart. You probably know Jimmy Stewart for his film appearances. In 1939, working with Frank Capra, Jimmy Stewart played a virtuous man who becomes a United States Senator in Mr. Smith Goes to Washington. He won the Academy Award for Best Actor for his 1940 performance in The Philadelphia Story with Katharine Hepburn and Cary Grant. Then there was It's a Wonderful Life, also in 1940, working again with Frank Capra. Based loosely on Charles Dickens' A Christmas Carol, It's a Wonderful Life became Stewart's defining film role and a Christmas classic. Jimmy Stewart is also noted for his radio acting. He appeared several times on the Lux Radio Theater, reprising his movie roles for radio. And from 1953 to 1954, he held the leading role in a series called The Six-Shooter. Created by Frank Burt, The Six-Shooter lasted only one season, just 30 episodes. In the leading role as Britt Ponsett, Stewart played a wandering cowboy in the last days of the American West. Episodes ranged from Western drama to comedy. As you will hear, Stewart's narration is subtle, often soft-spoken, to increase the story's drama. Let's listen now to Britt Ponsett's Christmas Carol. As the story begins, Britt Ponsett is camping on the Texas plains the night before Christmas. A young boy rides up to his camp.
Howdy.
Hello, mister. I see your fire. I thought maybe you wouldn't mind if I gave my pony a chance to warm up.
Sure. Make yourself home.
You heading for Thompson's Corners, mister?
That's right.
I just came from there.
Oh, well, you must have been riding all night.
Oh, just about. You see, I'm running away from home.
Oh, that's so. Seems kind of a funny thing you'd pick this time of year to run away. So close to Christmas, I mean.
I hate Christmas.
Oh?
It's just for kids, anyhow.
Well...
I heard Aunt Millie say so. Christmas is for children. That's what she said. I heard her tell Mr. Franklin that.
Oh, you don't live with your folks, huh, Johnny?
No, sir. They died about 8 months ago.
Oh, I see.
Christmas was all right when I was with them. Of course, I was a lot younger then.
Oh, yes.
It just beats me the way folks take Christmas so serious.
Well, I don't know.
As if getting presents made any difference. As if I really cared about that knife.
Well, is that what you wanted, a pocket knife?
I don't want a knife. I don't want anything. I just wish there wasn't any Christmas, that's all.
Uh-huh. Well, I guess you aren't the first person to feel that way. You know, it seems to me I remember reading a story once about a fellow who felt the same way about Christmas you do. Just didn't have any use for it.
What happened to him?
As I recollect, now mind you, this may not be word for word, but as I recollect, the man that it was about, the one that hated Christmas, that is, well, he was a real skinflint, he was. He just as stingy as they come. His name was, let me see, Eben, something like that.
Eben?
Eben, yeah, I'm pretty sure that was it. Well, being so tight-fisted, this fellow Eben, he got to be the richest man in the whole territory.
He owned a ranch?
Oh, sure. Had 4 of them. 4 ranches and store buildings and farms and maybe a bank or 2.
He was rich. I bet he had a mighty fine ranch house.
No, he didn't have a ranch house. Eben wasn't the sort to spend money on a ranch house unless there was profit in it. See, he just lived alone in town, had himself a steady room at the hotel. Well, anyway, one night while Eben was sitting in his room having supper, Christmas Eve it was. Well, on this particular Christmas Eve, his only kin, a nephew, lived in the same town. He stopped by the hotel.
To wish you a Merry Christmas, Uncle, and invite you to our place for dinner tomorrow.
Christmas, fiddlesticks. Tolera. I suppose you'll be closing up your livery stable for the occasion.
Why, sure, Uncle Eb.
And just how will the horses know it's Christmas? Answer me that.
Well, if they don't know it, we will. Can I tell Sally to expect you at 3?
You can expect me all you like, but I ain't coming. Not at 3 or any other time. Oh, if you're making so much money you can afford to be giving parties, maybe I ought to think about raising the rent on the livery stable.
Well, now, Uncle
I'll go on and get out of here before I lose my temper. All this nonsense about Christmas. Fiddlesticks. Hold it.
Well, after that, Johnny, the nephew didn't stick around there. He got out of Eben's hotel room at a regular gallop. It wasn't very long before Eben had another visitor. He was a young fella, tall, lanky, not very good at speaking. He just plain ordinary cowpoke. He was the foreman of the S&M ranch.
Oh, well, it took you long enough to get here. Where have you been? Selling off some of my herd without telling me about it?
No, sir. That day you rode by, I was out in the range hunting strays.
And a good thing I decided to check up on you, too. What's that cabin doing over by Holly Creek? And who are those people staying there?
They're my family. I built the shack for them myself.
I'm not going to have a bunch of nesters in my property. Tear it down.
Well, one of my boys has been sick. I can't afford to rent
That ain't
it.
my concern. It's up to you to keep your family and what you earn. So see that you get rid of that shack tomorrow.
But tomorrow's Christmas.
Oh, well. Then you'll have plenty of free time to tear it down. I'll be out the day after to make sure you've done it. Good night.
Wasn't much use in arguing. Foreman knew that. So he put on his hat and shuffled out. Now Eben was alone again. At least he thought he was alone. The clock on the mantel started striking 8, and that meant it's time for him to turn in. So he put on his flannel nightshirt and reached for the kerosene lamp to set it on the stool beside the bed. And right about then, the strangest thing happened.
What in tarnation?
Johnny, old Eben saw a man's face looking right at him from inside that lamp. Eyes and hair and nose and mouth, whiskers, all just as plain as day.
Jake!
It was old Jake, Eben's partner. There wasn't any mistake about it at all. It was Jake right to a T. Well, Eben sure didn't like the idea of having Jake right in the same room with him. You see, Jake had been dead for over 7 years. Not that Eben really believed in ghosts or haunts or anything like that. He told himself he'd just imagining all this.
Yeah, I got to get a hold of myself.
He put out his hand to turn down the wick, but all of a sudden his fingers started trembling. There was Jake again, across the room this time, standing right by the bureau.
No.
And when the lamp slipped out of Eben's hand, the room didn't get dark at all. Jake seemed to be surrounded by a splotch of bright yellow light, and he was wearing the same boots and breeches and leather jacket that he'd had on 7 years ago, the day he died. But as Jake came closer, Eben could see that he was wearing something else. A small leather saddle strapped across his back. And hanging down from it were 2 saddlebags stuffed so full of gold nuggets and mortgage papers and land grants that Jake could hardly drag him across the floor.
You recognize me, Eben?
Oh, sure, Jake. Why, sure, I'd never forget you, but... Well, what are you doing here? And why are you wearing that getup?
Always thinking about land and money. Always scheming and conniving. That's why I wear it. And that's why I've come to warn you, Eben. The saddle you're fixing up for yourself is even heavier than mine.
But I don't know what you mean, Jake. I ain't done no wrong. I ain't never done folks no wrong.
Have you ever done them any good? Any good at all?
Oh, why, sure. I've worked hard. I've saved my money. I ain't been a burden on anybody. Why, you should see our ranches, Jake. Oh, the way I've built them up.
I have seen them many times. And I've seen a lot more than that, too. That's my punishment. To spend eternity traveling around, seeing mankind with its trials and tribulations, with its joys and hopes.
Is that so terrible?
Oh, Eben, to watch him and not be able to help him. You'll find out how terrible it is. You'll find out.
There must be some way of avoiding this. You always were my friend. Jake, tell me what to do.
Eben, you've got to find out for yourself.
But how?
Tonight, at 1 o'clock, you'll be haunted by a ghost.
Another ghost?
Pay him heed, Eben. Pay him some heed.
Wait, Jake. Don't leave me without it. Jake.
The yellow light sort of faded away, and the ghost was gone. It was just like he hadn't even been there. And then something caught the corner of Eben's eye, a little glimmer on the floor, and he bent over to pick it up.
A gold nugget. Oh, now where on earth did he... Oh.
And then he remembered. Those saddlebags of Jake's, they'd been filled clear to the brim with gold nuggets.
Gee whiz, a gold nugget. Then Jake's ghost really had been there, huh, mister?
Yeah, there just wasn't any doubt about it, Johnny.
Oh, what happened then? Did the other spook turn up? The one Jake said was coming to see Evan?
Oh, sure, Johnny, sure, yeah. He was right on time, too. Evan was lying in bed, wide awake, of course. He hadn't been able to do much sleeping. He's too scared. It was kind of peculiar. Evan was half scared the ghost would come and half scared he wouldn't, you see. But before the sound of the clock had died away, there he was. He's sitting in Evan's rocking chair like he'd been there all night long. And this ghost was a young fella. Oh, maybe 18, 19, all duded up the way young bucks like to dress. You know, fancy chaps and checkered shirt and a red bandana tied around his neck.
Howdy, Eben. You ready to take a little trip?
Where to?
Back. Way back through the years.
Oh, but how can I go with you?
It's real easy. You see, I'm the ghost of Christmas past. You're past, Eben. Let's shove on.
Well, the next thing Evan knew, he and that ghost were standing out on a snow-covered prairie. There was a circle of covered wagons in front of them, and the people from the wagons were gathered together and listening to a tall, white-bearded man. He was reading the Bible.
Great joy, which will be to all people.
The ghost turned and pointed to a boy sitting away from the others on the tailboard of one of the wagons. Small boy, about 10 years old, with hollow cheeks and his eyes all red from crying.
Oh, no.
It was Eben himself. On a Christmas day, a long, long time ago. Not a very happy Christmas either. It was only a week since the oxen had stampeded and his ma had been killed when she fell from the wagon. His paw had died with an Apache arrow in his chest.
No, I don't want to look at him anymore. Can't you show me another Christmas?
Well, it was no sooner said than done. Now Eben and the ghost were in a bunkhouse. And Eben saw himself again. Oh, he's 10 years older than the boy on the prairie, but he was lying on a blanket staring up to the ceiling. And then his pal Jake came running in, all out of breath.
Come on, Eb. Get a clean shirt on. We got us an invite to a party.
Huh?
Yeah, the boss is throwing a big shindig. He says he'll fire us if we don't show up.
Evan couldn't help remembering that party. Oh, the roast beef and the baked ham and square dancing and the pretty girls in their calico. He couldn't help saying out loud to the ghost.
Oh, dear. How I wish I...
What was that, Eben?
I was just remembering how I treated my foreman today. That's all.
After that, the ghost took Eben to 3 or 4 more of his old Christmases. And none of them were very happy. Especially that Christmas when the young schoolmarm, sitting on the horsehair sofa, had unwrapped a tiny box Eben gave her and then handed it back to him.
It's a lovely ring, Eben. But I can't wear it.
Well, you're not courting somebody else.
No, Eben. But you are. You're courting something else.
Bill.
Land and money, cattle, profits. They mean more to you than I ever would. I'm sorry.
Mr. Ghost, no more of the past. Please, I've seen enough. A man wants to forget.
Sure, Eben. Whatever you say.
And before Eben could blink his eyes, he was right back in the hotel room. But once he got there, he blinked real hard because all of a sudden the ghost was becoming a different person. He was getting fatter, and his stomach popped out 2 or 3 inches, and a few wrinkles creased his cheeks, and finally his chaps turned into a shiny blue serge suit with a heavy gold chain dangling across the vest.
Hey, well, what's happened to you? Why are you so different now?
You seem to be getting tired of the past, so I thought we might take a gander at the present, if you've got no objection.
Well, the hotel room just melted away, and Eben was looking at that cabin his foreman had built on Holly Creek. Well, that cabin sure was crowded. Oh, there must have been 5 or 6 children, all helping their mother get the Christmas dinner, all laughing and talking, as busy as summer colds. But when their father came in, he had a long face and a tired mouth, and his wife looked up and wanted to know what was troubling him.
Oh, I was thinking about old Eben?
That's not a very pleasant thought for Christmas, Bob. By the way, what did he want with you yesterday? Was it about this cabin?
Oh, no, of course not. Well, let's get on with dinner. Sit down, everybody. Now, where's my Tim, huh? Well, I guess we're just going to have to eat
And
without
Bob
him.
looked all around the room. He was pretending he didn't see the little fellow in the corner. The boy with an iron brace on his leg and a wooden crutch propped up against the wall. But little Tim, he wasn't going to be ignored. So, Bob picked him up and carried him over to the table.
God bless this food, this house, and us and our friends. Even old Eben. Amen.
The family found that part about Eben a little hard to swallow, but they finally managed, and Tim was the last one to chime in.
God bless us, everyone.
Eben didn't want to watch what was going on in that cabin any longer, but the next place the ghost showed him wasn't much easier on him. There was a big party going on at his nephew's house back in the livery stable. And one of the ladies was blindfolded, you see, and she was trying to pin the tail onto a donkey. But there was something peculiar about this donkey, about the way it was drawn. It looked more like a person than an animal. Well, Eben recognized who it was supposed to be right off.
You see, folks, I invited Uncle Eb to be with us, but he turned me down flat. So I figured we'd have him here in spirit, if not in the flesh.
Right back in the hotel room again. That's where Eben found himself.
Spirit, you showed me the past and the present. What's left to see?
The future, Eben. The future.
And that's how Eben came to see a Christmas of the future. A cold, brittle Christmas. And there were two men standing on a street corner, and their coat collars turned up so to keep out the snow.
Oh, he's dead, all right. Dead as a doornail. Sure is a Christmas present I never expected. At least whoever handles his property won't be as hard to deal with as he was. Wonder if they'll bother giving him a funeral.
Ghost. Who are they talking about? Those men on the street. Who is it that's dead? Tell me.
And the ghost slowly turned and stretched out a long, thin, bony finger. And there, right at the end of that finger, was a tombstone, all covered with weeds. Eben could barely make out the name that was carved on it.
Ebenezer Scrooge. No. What's this? Where am I?
And you know what? He was right in his own bed, in his own nightshirt, and the sun was streaming through the frosted windows. But Eben didn't stay there very long, not for very long. He got into his boots and trousers as fast as he could, and he dashed down the stairs, out into the street. Well, you see, the stores being closed gave Eben quite a problem. Well, he'd just have to make Fuzzy Wagner open the butcher shop up, that's all. Of course, Fuzzy didn't have much choice, seeing as how the shop was located in one of Eben's buildings. And when Eben told him what he wanted, a turkey and a ham, well...
No. Better make it 2 hams and send them out to the cabin on the S&M ranch. And they're not to know that I ordered them. You understand, Fuzzy? Here's the money and a little extra for your trouble.
Well, before Fuzzy could get his jaw shut up again, Eben was on his way, and he headed right straight out to his nephew's house. And Eben was the life of the party, too. Well, the way he carried on, he's laughing and making jokes and telling stories on himself, and he insisted that they use that donkey with his face on it when they played games, you know.
Yes, because that's what I've been all these years. A real 4-footed, long-eared donkey.
And the next morning, though, that's what Eben enjoyed the most. He was up bright and early and hitched the team to the buckboard and drove out to the S&M, hurrying the horses all the way.
Come on, Bess. Come on, Martha. Step a little lively.
If he could just get out there before his foreman started tearing down that cabin.
Whoa, Martha. Whoa. Yeah. Well, Robert,
Yes, sir?
I see you ain't carried out my orders.
It was Christmas. I just couldn't tell him I'll do it today.
Oh, this is the last straw. I'm not putting up with your shenanigans any longer, young fella.
But please...
That cabin's coming down and no buts about it. And then we're building a new ranch house in its place. Big enough for you and your whole family.
What?
Oh, yes. I'm also doubling your wages as of last week. Merry Christmas, Bob. Even if I am a day late. No, not a day. More like half a lifetime. But Merry Christmas anyway. And as your son says, God blesses everyone.
Well, that's the way things worked out, Johnny, more or less.
Well, that's a fine story, Mister. Real fine. I reckon I know why you told it to me.
How's that?
So that I'd understand about Christmas and how important it is to do for other people instead of just thinking about yourself.
Well, no. I didn't have that in mind especially. The story just happened to come into my head, that's all.
Well, maybe if I had to give Aunt Millie something, a present maybe. Oh, shucks, what could I give her? I don't have no money.
Well, of course, there are lots of things that don't cost a penny, not a single red cent, you know. Well, now, let's see. Take that little spruce over there. I'd be real easy to cut that down with a little fixing and maybe a few doodads from around the house. I'll bet you can make a Jim Dandy Christmas tree out of that.
I suppose so, but what good's a tree without something to put under it?
Oh, yeah, I see what you mean. Johnny, you don't happen to know Jim Bender, do you? In Thompson's Corner and his 3 daughters?
He's only got 2, Mister, Sarah and Emily.
Oh, that's so. That's so. I was spending Christmas with them. It looks like I'm carrying an extra present. It's a real pretty little red bonnet with feathers on it.
I couldn't take it, Mister.
Oh, no. I wasn't thinking of giving it to you, Johnny. But I was sort of hoping that you'd show me the trail from here on in. Of course, it would mean you're turning around going back home, but if I was to cause you changing your plans, I'd feel obligated to pay you back some way, you know.
Well,
It would be only fair. Trouble is, I haven't got much money, so if you wouldn't mind accepting the bonnet instead, you'd be doing me a real favor, Johnny.
There's Aunt Millie out in the yard. Oh, she looks mad in a wet hen.
Well, there is a resemblance, I'll have to admit that.
Where in tarnation have you been, John Cartville? I've been looking high and low for you since dawn.
Well, I just went for a little ride, Aunt Millie, to get us a Christmas tree, see?
Christmas tree? Fiddlesticks.
This gentleman helped me cut it down. I'll just take it inside. Be right back, mister.
If we had any use for a Christmas tree. I suppose he's figuring there'll be a whole lot of presents under it.
No, I don't think so. But just between you and me, I got a hunch there'll be at least one person waiting for somebody.
What are you talking about?
Oh, no. It wouldn't be fair for me to speak out before Christmas. You know that.
You don't mean he's got something for me.
No. You mustn't get too curious so early.
But I thought he didn't like me. I thought he just hated having to live here with an old maid. I guess I just don't know nothing about kids. Nothing at all.
Well, I think I'd better get moving along. Say goodbye to Johnny for him, will you? And I wonder if you'd give this to him. Here, tell him the little blade on it's kind of dull, but...
A pocket knife?
Yeah.
Now, how did you know?
Hold on a minute.
Oh, God bless you, mister. And Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
You're listening to Reimagined Radio, Our episode is a Radio Christmas Sampler, Volume 2. Reimagined Radio explores radio storytelling, stories told with voices, sound effects, and music to spark your imagination.
Smoke comes out! Black smoke drifting over the city! People in the streets see it now! People trying to run away from it, but it's no use! They're falling like flies!
Reimagined Radio. Nothing to see, everything to hear.
Heard the third Monday of the month at 12 p.m. on KXRW FM.
Each episode of Reimagined Radio is produced with support from KXRW FM, Vancouver's community radio station. Join us each month for more interesting radio storytelling. I'll be back with concluding remarks after this short break. Hello, everyone. John Barber here, producer and host of Reimagined Radio, to encourage your support of KXRW, Vancouver's community radio station. You might not know it, but KXRW operates entirely on local support. Support for local community radio provides alternative listening experiences with a focus on community interests and information. Your support of community radio stays and works here in our community, promoting social justice, diversity, and inclusivity. If you already support community radio, thank you for your generosity. If not, please contact KXRW-FM or your community radio station wherever you listen to this program and learn how to support their efforts. Thank you for your support. This is Reimagined Radio. With each episode, we explore radio storytelling, stories told with sound. This episode is a Radio Christmas Sampler, Volume 2. Our opening sampled from Red Ryder Nails the Cleveland Kid by Gene Shepard, first heard on his WOR Talk radio program 24 December 1970. We also sampled from Back for Christmas, the 23 December 1943 episode of Suspense starring Peter Lorre and Britt Ponsett's Christmas Carol, the 20 December 1953 episode of The Six Shooter. Reimagined Radio is produced with support from KXRW-FM, Vancouver, Washington's community radio station. Content curation and script by John Barber. Music composition and post-production by Marc Rose. Graphic design by Holly Slocum Design. Our announcer is Jack Armstrong. As you go forward, reach out to those you come in contact with and share your best wishes. This simple gesture can go a long way to making our world a better place. Happy holidays, everyone. Best wishes for the coming new year.
This has been a production of Reimagined Radio. Our radio broadcasts are heard on local, regional, and international community radio stations. For on-demand streaming, point your browsers to our website, Reimagined Radio. That's all one word, no punctuation, .net. While you're there, subscribe to our snappy email program guide. Thank you so much for listening, and please join us again for another episode of Reimagined Radio, where we'll continue our exploration of radio storytelling.